The Knights were back to form in their crucial win over the Reagan Raiders 49-11. The Knights were able to strike quickly with a 76-yard touchdown run by Deron Gage to make the score 7-0. The Knights would then force Reagan to a 3-and-out on Reagan's first possession of the game. The Knights would drive close to the end zone on their next possession, but would fumble the ball short of the goal line, giving the ball back to the Raiders. The Raiders, backed into their own end zone, would nearly have a safety and would eventually punt to the Knights, who had Darius Lewis returning what would be the Knights' second score of the game on a punt return touchdown. The Knights would recover Reagan fumble to start the second quarter, recovered by Gabe Williams. And that would set up the offense to score again with Deron Gage scoring his second and final touchdown of the game. The Raiders would respond with a field goal to make the score 21-3 close to the end of the first half. The Knights, however, were not done with their first half scoring. Cole Davis would run the ball in from 42 yards out to make the score 28-3 at the half, having to tiptoe his way along the sideline to make the score. Coming out of halftime, the McCallum offense did not stop the offensive onslaught. The Knights would go on to score 3 more touchdowns before the end of the game, all thanks to Jalen Sutton. The Reagan offense was able to stop the bleeding in the fourth quarter as they got 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion to end the night at 49-11. How did it feel to get your first snaps at QB this season?
I just felt really relaxed because I've been practicing it all season, and to get in and finally do it for once felt amazing.
What's some advice that the veterans from last year like Cole gave you before going in?
Just be relaxed and have fun with it. You know, you don't get too many opportunities like that.
How do you think the team can carry this win into next week and try to execute for next week?
We played a great game tonight, so just watching the film, correcting the little mistakes we need to correct, and then just going out and playing like we do.
And what is the number one thing that you think the team can use next week? To use next week to win, like that you did well this week?
We had a great week of practice this week. We just need to do the same thing next week and bring it a little harder, bring the hammer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
What was the success this week that got you the win, like working over the week?
What really helped us was having a full week of practice at House Park. The kids really competed. We did a few different things in practice, and you know, I think shortening the practice, we got more out of these kids, and we had a really good week of practice to help us prepare for Reagan.
What can you take from this game going to next week, a pivotal game against Crockett that could decide your playoff fate?
We just got to build off this momentum again. We've been preaching having good practice habits, so we got to make sure we have another good week of practice. That's where it starts, having everybody there, and it starts tomorrow, like Coach G said. Everybody show up on Saturday, and then for the rest of the week, everybody shows up and we have a good week of practice.
What do you think the team did well on offense and defense to execute this game
We have a saying that we've been doing, just recently that says "do your job," and I think everybody did their job. Whatever your job is on that play, it's your job to make sure you execute that. And I think we did a good job of executing our jobs as a position, whether you're as a tackle, receiver, quarterback. We did a good job of executing.
Which players do you think stood out and excelled at their job this week?
Of course, the O-line. It all starts with the O-line. We have no run game without the O-line. So big shout out to those guys. And then I think Jalen Sutton was ready for a big game, and he had a big game for us tonight. And Deron Gage, of course, for 4 years, he's been on varsity doing big things for us. So we're happy to have him on our team.
All right, thank you.
Yes.